shop, cause they cutting up. It's retro, coming to you live to the chop shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the chop shop, man. In the chop shop, till your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based in debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30, let's do it first take. On Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Carter Ray and Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket. Put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, you see me as I beat him. Step up to the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the chop shop, cause they cutting up. It's retro, coming to you live to the chop shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the chop shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the chop shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop.
H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, and broadcasting on, give it. We broadcasting all over the world, man. And we got a busy day today. Welcome, everybody. I see you on the Facebook feed. B. Scott already, Jimmy, talking about, I hope you got my mailbag question on Twitter. I didn't get it, B. Scott. Jimmy might have had it. I didn't get it. You should have sent it to the, Jimmy. If your mailbag should go to the mailbox. Chop Shop, HTX, at gmail.com. Sometimes we might not get it on Twitter, but guess what? You're on the show today. But Jimmy, I got a whole lot of stuff. I know you have. You probably just got back, but I just want to share a few things with you before anything goes on. First of all, I got a question for you later, but I'd like to have a shout out to Rick Nelson at the Texas Jamboree. And it's just a lot of stuff. New England, Jimmy, and I want a question for you, Jimmy. Does John Watson beat Tom Brady yesterday? Does mean he's better. We can get to that later, but I just, because you mentioned that last week, because a guy beat a guy head-to-head, that mean they better. So, I got a couple of more things. I don't want to go there yet. Let me see. I got a cut. But Jimmy, I learned something about the NFL yesterday, and when we get to the NFL, lousy organizations creates obstacles. Great organizations overcomes obstacles. We'll talk about that a little later, but I know you got a lot. What's going on? Hey, glad to be back. I know you've been out of town. I held it down in the city for you. What's going on?
Well, I mean, let's get right on to it. Of course, basketball, high school basketball this past weekend. First and foremost, high school football. Let's get it out the way. North Shore beat let me get this right. The snot out of Katy. Where's Mr. Katy at? That's all I want to know.
Y'all done ran Mr. Katy off the show, but keep going.
North Shore 56-21, and that was the highly anticipated showdown. North Shore advances to the regionals where they will meet Atascocita. Now, ironically, we're talking football here. North Shore and Atascocita both have only one loss each to date. And guess who that was to? To Katy. Katy beat both of those guys in consecutive weeks at the beginning of the season. So now,
Yes.
yeah, and they beat the devil out of Atascocita. Katy did. It was ugly, but at the same time, they will meet Saturday 2 p.m. at C.E. King. Now, for those of you who hadn't been on that end of the Beltway 8, C.E. King has a brand new school that's going to open up in, I think, January next month. This new school has a stadium they didn't spend $60 million on this stadium, but it sure looks better than that stadium out there in Katy, Legacy, that costed $60 million.
Oh, it looks better than Legacy?
Dude, watch when you see it.
Okay.
The new C.
I'm
King
not
Stadium sits right on the side of the Beltway, and it's a great thing because of the fact that you guys know where Summer Creek High School is?
Yes.
The C. King brand new school is approximately 1.5 miles away on the Beltway.
Okay.
And that stadium is facing the Beltway with a big, gigantic HD billboard that they're going to run advertisements from the community from that board. You know, which is a hell of an idea that to help supplement income.
Oh, so it's so you mean it's a visual board, a visual digital.
You can see it really good as you passing down the Beltway, especially at nighttime. Man, at night that thing lights up. You know, I'm just so
that's your part of the wood, neck of the woods. I don't be over there that much.
No, I'm talking about for those when they come, through there, you will see that. Okay. And that's one of the things that in building that they budgeted the revenues from advertising on a year-round basis, not just football season, because that thing is you remember now, North Shore High School from the C. King, North Shore is about 6 miles away. Atascocita High School is about 7 miles, 8 miles away. That's the perfect, that way now, nobody has to leave their community, so to speak, to go into this game. It will be a standing room only crowd on Saturday at 2 p.m. That's the football matchup.
How many people that hold in that arena, Jimmy?
The football stadium, you mean?
Yeah, the football
I'm
stadium.
not sure how many it holds. So I'm going to get the correct number as we proceed through the show. And I'll reach out to the head coach over at C. King and find out how many that stadium is supposed to seat. But meanwhile, on the basketball, speaking of Duncanville Football 1, and all eyes are geared toward a rematch in the state football championship between Duncanville and North Shore.
Okay. If
Atascocita wins this game against North Shore, great. For the community, Humble ISD. But I'm going to tell you, the ticket, that would probably be the most people to ever watch a high school football game, possibly, could be North Shore versus Duncanville Part 2.
Okay.
In Jerry Jones arena. Well, I mean, what's the name of where the Cowboys play at? That's what
it's AT&T.
AT&T.
Yeah, whatever, whoever.
I was down there at Duncanville the high school all weekend, and that's another thing. I mean, we see it. It's a lot of things we see all the time. We don't think is important, but I was listening to some of they had the Thanksgiving Hoop Fest, and a lot of the young men from out of town teams. This was their first time actually seeing Duncanville High School, and this high school is the largest high school as far as the building wise and acreage in the United States of America. There's no school that has more structural square footage than Duncanville High School. They have a football stadium. It's different between a field and a stadium. They have a baseball stadium. They have a softball stadium. They have 7 basketball courts. 7 basketball courts at Duncanville High School. 7 of them. This thing, I mean, so it was fun, but the football team, they are fired up and they want a piece of North Shore. Now, the only thing about it, I hate that I will not be able to physically be there because I promised I wanted to be there for that game, because that game, if it does take place for the state championship, would be Saturday, December the 21st. Guess what? That's the same date of the Christmas crossover basketball showcase, which takes place at University of St. Thomas. But I know somebody, one of you guys, many of you guys got to go and keep me posted like we do y'all when we go to these events. You got to flip the script and keep the Chop Shop abreast if you make the game. Now, let's get back to the basketball.
Hold up, Jimmy. Jimmy, we can't be, we got to talk about them Creek boys. Shadow Creek, aren't they still in the running?
Oh, man, when you were down here in Houston, what did Shadow Creek?
I don't know what happened because I know Kevin Drones is on the air, and I didn't see a lot of it. I know people always talk about the 6A, but Shadow Creek put a whooping on Foster, I think, Jimmy.
They beat Foster, and that's a district mate of Shadow Creek, but I heard they beat Foster pretty, beat them comfortably. Those teams were familiar with each other, but Shadow Creek, remember, they went to state last year in 5A.
Did they win it?
No, they didn't win it. They went there.
Okay.
They went there last year, and they are expected to advance there. One of the favorites. This 5A thing is heating up. Remember now, Thurgood Marshall is still alive.
Yes.
Remember, Thurgood Marshall went to state a year ago. Remember, during the process, one of their star players, he was killed.
Yes. I remember that.
In the midst of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So the story is continuing to roll. Thanks for Angel Verdejo. He's on the feed, and he lets us know that the brand new stadium at C.E. King is going to hold approximately 10,000.
Awesome.
6 on the home side and 4 on the visitors side.
Thank you, Angel. Thank you so much.
Thanks a bunch for that info on that, because once again, football, the season is nearing. We are only 3 weeks away from the conclusion of the high school football season. This is when, and a lot of these teams that are still playing, and Silsbee football team won again this weekend. And so you see a lot of these teams, their basketball teams are getting, they're shorthanded. And Silsbee has 6 players from that are on the football field who also double down as basketball players as well. So the shout out to all these young men. We mentioned Shadow Creek. Kyron Drones is among the 2 sports stars. He's a starter on the basketball court, about 6'4", and
Jim, you got to see him throw that football, Jim. You got to see it. Oh my goodness. So
it's like he in video game mode.
Yes. Every time, I mean, he looks good back there. I know he loves basketball, but boy, he's a quarterback. When I look at him on the football field, I see a guy who can play at a high level, at a program, and possibly, play one day on Sunday. So, hey, Kyron Jones is the truth, Doc.
Oh, and they just informed us that Foster was actually leading.
Yes.
24-7.
That don't matter though. It don't matter how much they were leading. Hey, the Lakers was leading up on Luka the other night until Luka got hold to him. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And we're going to talk a lot in the NBA talk as well coming up. But let's get back to this high school weather weekend.
Oh my God, it's
so much. One of the things. Let's go first and recap from Dallas. We're going to go through the Thanksgiving Hoop Fest, and then we'll talk about the Texas Jamboree, hosted by Rick Nelson, which was held here in Houston at Episcopal High School. Now, back up in Dallas, one of the things, we had Glenn Smith on the Chop Shop last Tuesday, and he spoke in terms about this event and a lot of the things that he had to go through to pull this thing off. A lot of the out-of-town teams, a lot of people don't look at the expenses that it takes, and that's the risk that's involved. But boy, when the risk pay off in regards to people coming up and showing up and supporting, when a person is attempting to provide such a platform for their community, that's the thing. Then guess what? It's job well done. I tip my brim to the DFW community, and don't get it twisted. There's a lot that went into it, but who knows? Who knows that who was not going to show up? You don't know that until the day becomes. It rained and it was cold as hell in Dallas on Friday. The sky cleared up. it was a still chilly, but it was no rain, and it was a great atmosphere. Glenn Smith provided a platform at the Thanksgiving Hoop Fest, which set a record for the most attendance to watch a regular season high school girls or a boys basketball game. Meaning that attendance, he had a girls game, Duncanville versus Sierra Canyon, and he had a boys game, Duncanville versus Sierra Canyon. Then that was followed by Montverde versus Houston Yates. Game on top was St. Mark's versus Prolific Prep out of California. So, once again, approximately 12,000 people were in the American Airlines Arena. Approximately 12,000. Now, once again, that's not the most ever to watch a high school game in the state of Texas. That record would be held from the state tournament. Back in the Irwin Center, when Jack Yates played in 2010. That's the all-time record. Now, once it go back, but for the regular season, Glenn Smith has put himself into a space, whereas, and this is how I put it to people, when I love when people innovate. I love when people go and you take a leap on faith and you go out, as Glenn mentioned, people people didn't they wasn't looking when he losing 5 digits, as he said himself a week ago on the Chop Shop. What the hell was that? And then people wasn't looking when he was losing. This right here, the story of Dallas or DFW basketball, right, cannot be told accurately by anyone without mentioning Glenn Smith's name. That's what he's did this weekend. That's how you let it resonate for a second. If the story of your city, can it be told accurately without mentioning your name? That's let you know just how big. I mean, just seriously. I mean, Cash, not every doggone detail of you, but if somebody had to go and do the documentary or the history of a city, of your city, of a city, and you put in the blank and switch an uncertain name, can the story be told? In Houston, Texas, can the story be told of high school basketball without mentioning a John Urey? Can it be told without mentioning a Hal Passner? Albeit even a Jay Parker, a John Lucas. Can the story be told without mentioning a TJ Ford? Or Rob Williams? Can it be told without mentioning a Jack Yates 2010? Or Madison High School 1985? Or Wheatley High School 1968, 69, 72? Or Cashmere High School 73, 74? Can it be told without mentioning them? That's what Glenn Smith has done to himself and his family. So now, pressing forward, everybody gets to see now what can happen when a platform is provided. And he did so with his, look at the schedule. Yes, there were a lot of blowouts. It was a lot of blowouts. What that did, I look at it 2 ways. Yeah. One way is it just goes to show and prove just how far the gap is from a lot of the teams we thought was very good and ready for the national scale, how regular they are when you put them teams on the court with a national powerhouse, which we hardly ever get to see in abundance as we did this past weekend. That's what happens. It puts you in your place, in other words. A lot of teams were put in their place. That don't mean they're not good anymore. Yeah, Faith Family is still good, even though they're 0-5 this season, hadn't won a game all year. Hadn't scored but over 60 points one time out of the 5 games. They're still a state of favorite to get to and defend their state championship. Yates lost by 48 points. I'm sorry, 52 points and 37 points in their 2 games. This Yates team is still good enough to go and win state. They're still a favorite. They just put them in their place. And in this basketball stuff, sooner or later, if you are playing long enough and you're lucky and fortunate enough to be provided the platform, you will either establish your place. Meaning, on Saturday afternoon, it was a highly anticipated game that consisted of 2 sophomores, the top 2 sophomores in the state. Nobody has done any sophomore rankings, so we don't know who ranks who they're top. But so all we can just say they're 2 of the most visible and the anointed sophomores in the state. Once again, nobody has done any state rankings in Texas that I know of that has the sophomores ranked. If it is, let us know and we can stand corrected so we can see just where those guys have these 2 young men ranked. So all we can say is they're 2 of the best. And that's Keontae George from Louisville High School, Bryce Griggs from Hightower High School. Going into this game, we had smack talking left and right visibly every week. I saw all the stuff, and you guys heard it. And even a week ago, Louisville was in Houston for the Pasadena, Texas Invitation. Did well. They won the consolation bracket of their in their respective division. They went 3-2. Hightower went was it 3-2 or 2-3 on the weekend. They met up down there. Bryce Griggs versus Keontae George. Let me tell you what happened. I was courtside. From the opening tip, it's like you watch a boxing match. Mm-hmm. Bryce Griggs was the aggressor. That doesn't mean that you're going to win the game, but it set the tone because on the first day, let's not forget, Hightower played ODY out of Fort Worth, out of the top 6, and lost. They were down by 20, come back and close that game until about 4 or 5 points, and then fell short to the ODY team. Bryce Griggs was held to 19 points, which is a great day for many young men out there. But expectations are higher when you've been anointed. 19 points and an L is not acceptable if you're supposed to be that. That's the thing that people don't understand. So what you do is, luckily, that he had another day to redeem himself. He came back. Think about it. How many times you heard in the last 2 days about Bryce Griggs scoring 19 points against Fort Worth ODY? You know why? It don't freaking matter no more. Once you come back and you hit your point on the dice, next game up, then guess what? Point seen, money gone. I'm not worried about that 19. I'm totally good now. Bryce came out and was clicking. He was talking, and the teammates were responding. I watched both of these teams play more than once before they played each other. And I told you guys, they were evenly matched. I think it's going to be a very good game because the supporting cast are about equal. So that means if the stars cancel each other out, the supporting cast come in play, then guess what? But in this game, sure enough, the supporting cast were there, but Bryce Griggs had 41 points. 41 points, including the game-winning shot when he drove right outside the right elbow. He was guarded by one guy. One guy came up to trap him. Another guy cheated up. That was really 3 guys within a 5-foot radius when he pulled up the jumper. Kissed it off the glass. Money. That's a moment that when every player has to be able to seize. And the stage for high school basketball, understand, a lot of these young men, they don't have control on the schedules where they're going to play at. This coach made the schedules. The AD made the schedule. They, in some cases, so they can't go. May not be going here, and here. So this is there's not going to be a collection of national media that's going to be in the same building in the state of Texas for a scholastic event this whole season. So this is it. This is their American Idol. You guys understand this? Ain't no such thing as a bad game in the big game when you're trying to get somewhere. Now let me make this perfectly clear. Keontae George is a better prospect for us, the bigger end. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. I mean, he's athletic. When the trajectory, you put the trajectory on, when they factor that stuff in, this coming from numerous of the college coaches in the Power Five that were there. I'm asking them what they're seeing. And there's no doubt about that. What this game does, meaning that Keontae George did not, it didn't hurt him as much if it would have been vice versa. If Keontae George had scored 41 points and won the game, and Bryce Griggs only had 21 points, Bryce Griggs would have been hurt on the national scale more so than Keontae George is. It would have. Paul Biancardi was there. Eric Bossi was there. Jay from USA Today was there. So what this game did for Bryce Griggs, it moved the needle for him. And it made the conversation once again become valid when it comes to him and the national scale, because he's been omitted. ESPN has rankings for the top 25 sophomores. USA Today, USA Basketball has done invites twice and has skipped over Bryce Griggs in 2 separate years for their trials. Now what it does...
That ain't Bryce's fault, because you done talk and talk. That ain't Bryce's fault. They were stupid enough to skip over. And I hear all that talk, and I let you go on and on and on. And I don't care about Paul Biancardi's rankings. I don't care about their prospects. And I don't know what the hell they talking about if they talking about this guy's a better prospect. Says who? Says who? I didn't hear that from the guys that I heard that was there. Just got just as much clout as Paul Biancardi and everybody else. So it's just, think about it. Y'all set this stage. Y'all said Bryce got to put up or shut up. This here and this is. Dude, he came and did what he's supposed to do. I don't want to hear about nothing else. Nothing against the other kid, nothing against nobody else. But I heard the whispers. I know the absence of text that came on my phone yesterday, the last student. The absence, notice of text that came on my phone. I told you. You said this is business. Bryce got to put up and shut up. And I never forget the words that came out of my mouth. And you said something about, well, that's the business of this, the Paul Biancardi. And I told you, y'all gonna do business with Bryce? Bryce gonna do business with you. Bryce left Houston and went up 45 on a business trip. And then when he took care of his business, got in the bus with his team and came back home. And guess what? That's all should be said. I don't care about prospect. All he can do is put whoever in front of him. When the lights were bright, and I never forget, in his video, people call me about the video, and he was a little, excited about it. And he says he's a wolf. Him and his brother always talking, they got a trademark called a wolf. So, what I did? I went and looked up the wolves, the gray wolves. I wanted to look up. One of their chief characteristics, Jimmy, is big game hunter. They don't hunt the small games. That was a big game, And Bryce Griggs went and hunted. And guess what? That's what he do. It ain't no, I don't care what Paul Biancardi say, nobody else says. And I saw what Evan Daniels said. That was one of the best performances he's seen in 11 years. So, we can, you can like this, you can like this, but guy, Bryce showed up and took care of his business. And that's what I would love to understand. I mean, I wasn't there. I went and paid for a service that I didn't get because I thought you can get it on Flow Hoops. I went and signed up for that mess and wish I could cancel it right away. And it was not on Flow Hoops. And I looked all over. So I didn't see the game, but I had a lot of people talking about the game. That young man got on, because believe you me, I heard the whispers. We had a guy from this city said Dallas basketball is better than Houston. Dallas basketball is far ahead of Houston. So if you convict me on the front page, come back and give me your apology on the front page. If you tweet out that Dallas is better than Houston, the only team that left Dallas from Houston as a winner was Hightower and that young man who was under tremendous amount of, because he lists, let me tell you something, great kid. You got to get to know him first before you can catch, because, like I said, it's one guy, the guy Corey Evans, he said he had never seen him. He said, but he heard about him. He's a volume shooter. Somewhere this kind of mess is leaking out of this city, going to them people nationally. And somewhere, man, we got to sit and just watch the things that comes out of our mouth. And let me tell you, if that's your opinion and that's how you look at the game, that's how you look at the game. But this young man, Jimmy, you were so eloquent with it. You said, this is the business. This is the business of it. Bryce got to pull up and shut up. I told you he was going to do business with y'all. And the young man went up there. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him. When he called me, he said, Mr. Hatter, thank you for everything you do. I'm just so proud of that kid. And great outing for Hightower. Hey, great job, Stephen Woods, for not letting Houston get shut out. So that's all I got to say today.
Well, one thing now you have to factor in, you have feedback over that. Mm-hmm. Is that you're reverbing over there, something you touched.
I ain't touching that. But keep going. Yeah, because it's not coming through the feed.
This is one of the things people have to understand. This is not where it stops. This is just a start. Remember, on the national, the conglomerate of national media. Remember, Bryce Griggs played 16U this past summer. So a lot of times in the sneaker events, played on Adidas platform. A lot of times, and the team hardened, they did pretty well, won a few tournaments. But a lot of times, those national guys have a schedule of upperclassmen that they must see. Now, if they have time, and if somebody convinces one of them, tell them, man, so-and-so is playing next door, why don't you come peek in there? That's how a lot of those guys have the opportunity to get seen. So it's understandable. A lot of those guys are seeing certain players for the very first time who are underclassmen. Now, outside of Texas, it's a great thing that it was on Texas soil. And that's one of the things that takes it back and magnifies an event as this past weekend, is because of the fact that they had to come. The platform was so big, they had to come. This was Sierra Canyon's first game of their season. So the lure of some of those guys to go and get a glimpse of Bronny James and Zaire Wade and just, it's crazy how these guys were advertising to so many people that don't know. They just heard the names. They didn't know about some of the other guys who these guys don't even start. There's other guys on the team that push.
But Jimmy, Bryce been a top player around the country for years. He was the #1 ranked player around this country for a year. He done went around this country as a young man for years.
You know what?
But it's a narrative been coming out of this city.
You know what? Because a lot of people know the cover has came off on certain guys that does the national rankings. Those same guys had Lamar Holt's son ranked #1 in the country. That same guy. Lamar Holt's son didn't even get a Division I scholarship.
I understand that.
So what happens is, I'm just saying, when they're talking about the sub high school level, that's what I'm talking about. So what happens, a lot of the people in the business.
That's not a good comparison, but I understand what you're saying. It's not a good comparison.
Tend to not respect him as much as he used to be respected before it became known that he can be influenced.
I got a question.
When on the top end.
State of Texas is a pretty good state, right? A basketball, right?
Pretty good.
He was one of the only freshmen in the upper classes that made All-State. Did that mean anything? But it don't mean
not on the national plane, not on the national. It means something in your state.
But those guys get their information from somewhere. Don't you think they ain't getting information from somewhere, these national guys? Because all of y'all talk.
And understand. There are more mouthpieces in Texas than ever before.
I understand.
That means, here's what's saying. So if you got 10 guys that covers this, that's in Texas, nowadays, and they aggressively, according to the college coaches I'm speaking with on the regular, these guys, different guys, not saying one or the other, but these, just say the 10, aggressively for the majority of them, let's say 70 out of the 10, solicit their business or their opinions to the college coaches. Meaning that they select, because everybody's jockeying to get a subscriber. Those coaches will pay these guys up anywhere from $200 to $1,000 on the average. That's a big window, but that's pretty much what range they go in per year for their reports.
Okay.
Right? So these guys will they will now, the coaches ain't gonna just run to them. They're gonna run and recruit the college coaches. And in doing so, that coach is gonna ask these guys their opinions about different kids. And this is where it gets really confusing to the college coach who have not just scoured the grassroots of DFW, Houston, Greater Houston, and ASAC, Austin, San Antonio, clean. Well, if you ask one guy, he's going to say red is the best guy in the state. Next guy, he's going to say blue. Next guy going to say green. Next guy going to say white. Next one going to say yellow. The other one going to say pink. The other one going to say silver. The other one going to say aqua, and then fuchsia, and then the last one going to say black. That's what happens a lot of times. Not to say it happened in this case, but a lot of times it confuses the coach. And so now the coach say, shit, it's a mess down there in Texas. Because everyone that you talk to, they're going to tell you not only is blue going to tell you that his kid is #1, but he's going to say yellow ain't worth a quarter. Then red going to say his kid #1, but yellow and blue, man, they can't touch my kid. Then come green. He gonna say his kid get laid 30 on red, 40 on yellow, and 35, 30, and a triple-double on blue. Do you see what happens in this state? That's what happens. And because, once again, there's these are opinions. But then when the opinion is infringed upon people, common folk, fans just really want to know what's going on. But then when you do it and they do it without leaving a window open. He's the best. Bryce won't stand a chance against this kid.
No. It ain't even close. When I heard that bothered me.
He won't. So me now, I'm thinking on the only theory. I didn't talk to Stephen Woods before the game to ask him what his game plan was. I didn't. But, I didn't feel like it was a need to. I just, wanted to keep it pure. Well, guess what? Out the gate, Bryce played 32 minutes. So did Keontae George. Neither never left the court.
That's the first time for Bryce. I didn't know that.
They both played 32 minutes.
Okay.
Do you realize that Bryce Griggs probably spent, I don't know, I ain't watched the huddle, but I'm just guesstimating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say possession-wise. That way I don't know the time. I guarantee you that Bryce Griggs played at least 17 possessions guarding Keontae George.
Mm.
At least 17. I'm probably being really generous. His head coach is on the feed right there in the boom boom room. So what I'm saying is, Bryce nearly got into foul trouble, but I think he picked up 2 fouls in the second quarter. Mm-hmm. And there was a moment with about 2 minutes left when the coach could have took him out the game, about a minute and something left. But if he did, they were down by like 1, and they could have went up to about 5, left him in. Bryce didn't get the third foul. Great. Went into the half with 2 fouls. But he guarded this young man. Mm-hmm. He guarded this young man, and it wasn't, I'm not talking about on the switch. He went and guarded it. Now, there was a possession or two. The over and under on Keontae George, how many times he guarded Bryce Griggs, I would say the over and under would be about 7 possessions. Mm-hmm. Okay. Just guess to me.
I got a couple. There's a couple of questions, Jimmy, and they coming good. Jock Armand said, Jimmy, can a summer ball session hurt your rankings?
Yes.
Great. Okay.
It can't. A summer ball session. Now, I don't know what you mean by a session, but I'm thinking you mean a weekend at a summer ball event. Mm-hmm. If the right set of eyes, see, first of all, like I said, unfortunately, the kids are the last to understand just what type of hype is being placed on their head. The kids don't have any idea. They see some of your comments on Twitter, but they don't really feel the magnitude of what I say, put up or shut up element of because some kids are being anointed as the best thing since sliced bread. Mm-hmm. Some kids are being anointed as a pro. He won't see high school. That kid don't know that.
You mean college, not high school.
I mean, I won't see college.
Yeah.
So yes, you can. Your stock can be hurt because what the expectations of that guy who's seeing that kid in that particular setting, what he's expecting to see when the ball go in the air. Now that's what the time. So maybe if some of you guys, that could be a solution moving forward. When you in the gym and you see a person that's an evaluator.
Okay, I'm sorry. They came back and said, he meant if choosing the wrong circuit can hurt your rankings.
It choosing the wrong circuit may not necessarily hurt your rankings, but it can hinder your opportunity to be ranked.
That's a nice way of putting it. But in my opinion, he can't say that. But in my opinion, yes, I've seen it happen. I put it like this.
But how it's worked. It's understand what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. I say hinder means slow. Hinder means to slow down the process. That's what the word hinder means. It can stagnate or prolong the process. Meaning that if you play on certain circuits, you got to win twice as much. You got to win some circuits you play on. You ain't got to win a game.
But Jimmy,
Marvin Bagley.
Jimmy, I talked to Corey Evans, and when I talked, he said he never went on the Adidas 16 and circuit and seen the 16s play at all. But if he saw the 16s play on the Nike circuit, because I guess all of those, I don't know the reason because I didn't go to all the Adidas circuits. But that's why he said he didn't get a chance to see Bryce as much.
Well, I mean, and understand, that varies, though, from person to year. Because if you're on a national, if you cover the nation, you are obligated to go to at least each one of those platforms. If you cover the country, you're obligated. You owe it. because you're getting a check from these coaches to go and provide them intel. You're supposed to go to at least one. One Under Armour, one Adidas, one Nike.
No. But what if you don't go to the 16? You remember, people like to cover the upperclassmen. You remember?
And it goes like this. When it comes to the sub 17 and under teams at these on the sneaker circuit, it takes a person. I've done this so much to my head turned blue. Is that a person? Let's say if Corey Evans is there, and I want Corey Evans to see this dude. And I know we about to go and eat. He got a gap. What time you got, Corey? Well, I got a gap. I don't have to be back in the gym till the 4 o'clock game. Corey, check this out, man. There's a game going on right next door. I need just give a young man 5 possessions. That's what I tell him sometimes. 4 possessions. Give him 10 possessions. You know, and let me know what you think. It takes that sometimes. That's just like going to these highs. I've simplified a fraction. I'm at the Pasadena tournament the other week, right? In Texas Invitation, right? That was a game going on. We went to the hospitality room, getting prepared to do the chop shop at Pasadena High School, right? And remember what I told you guys. Well, you were with me, and I think Chris Walker was there. And I say, well, what are we gonna do? We get ready to do something. Get ready to break. I said, hold tight. We got to watch a quarter of this young man named P.J. Haggerty. Yeah. He's playing right now, and you got to lay eyes on him because I know that Chris Walker's never going to see this young man again. Right. And Chris Walker's going to be doing commentating. His first game is in 48 hours on CBS Sports, and that way, just as Chris Walker saw
the big guy from Sam
Big John Shanu from Sam High School that morning. I'm like, well, hell, your blood is boiling now. So that means he has influenced the coaches on the East Coast and all over the country. So that's how it goes sometimes. If we don't say that, guess what we gone? We gone to happy hour.
That's right. Y'all was headed out, and y'all wind up watching a half of the game instead of a quarter. We watched a half because he saw 10 possessions and say, hell, what's that kid name again? That's how it goes in a lot of the times. But then, once again, a lot of guys who are evaluators or influence or proponents in from certain areas must do a better job of influencing those people on a national scale while you're right there and you know something is going on, instead of taking them to go and see a particular kid. In other words, if there's no Division I prospects, right, at Humble High School, but I got a little nephew that played at Humble High School. I love him. That's my son. Why the hell would I take Baylor to go and see my nephew who ain't a Division I prospect? Just to make him feel good and to make my sister feel good and my kinfolk, they gonna say Baylor came and saw him. Now the kid gonna be all messed up in the mind because he think gonna go back to the locker room and tell everybody Baylor recruited me. They came to see me play. No. Baylor came because they were influenced and they did somebody a favor. You can't play there. And then the grown folk won't tell the kid the truth. See, it's December. I told this story last year during Christmas time. When I was about 7 years old, I was always inquisitive. But this time of the year, you know, everybody had an age. I just didn't understand because we didn't have a fireplace. And I love Christmas because you got your boxes are wrapped up and some of the excitement of tearing the gift wrapping off your present. But I always had I had enough gall to ask my mama and my grandmama Noonie the question, how did Santa Claus get in the house? We don't have no chimney. They laughed it off and told me, boy, they forgot what they told me. They eased it off and pushed me on down. So then I knew I'm evaluating now. They don't want to let me in the room. They close the door. For the last 3 years, I can remember, they closed the door night before Christmas. Then they all in there with the door closed, and I hear paper. They don't know I hear them. But my point is, grown folk won't tell kids the truth
when it's time. Because y'all think certain kids can't handle the truth. The truth to the matter is these kids in today's society, they are accelerated and more privy to stuff online on the internet. They can't afford, they can't handle being lied to like you want to lie to them. If a kid ain't good enough right now, there's nothing wrong with letting a kid know you're not good enough today. Just add that word to it. Today. You're not there today. Keep pushing. Keep working. It's just, let's go to the boom.
I put the fireplace. You see, I put my fireplace up there for you. Since you had a fireside chat right there. I had to put it up so you can have. Okay, Jimmy, now you got a fireplace.
I mean, so now other things happen down, of course, in Dallas. We're going to talk about back in Houston in a second. But Yates High School, we know they did not have Gerald Dose, did not have Chuck Isuchua, didn't have Alan Odewon, nor did they have the young man, two other transfers. They have 5 transfers total who are sitting out. Elijah Elliott on Friday, he played. How about this? He played 9 minutes, left the game at half in the second quarter, and went and did not return. Said, of course, the reason was I heard migraines. He had migraines. He played on Saturday, led Yates in scoring on Saturday with 13 points. My thing is, let me tell you something. Antoine Norman was 2 for 18. And I say this again, against Montverde. 2 for 18. Right? Antoine Norman, you played on the EYBL circuit. This was a grand opportunity to get film going against. Understand, Montverde is as high as it's going to get for his recruitability in the high school, #1 team in the country, and they proved it this past weekend. They beat Duncanville by 33 points. And Duncanville, they beat Yates by 52.
They beat young Duncanville by how many?
33.
What team is this?
Montverde. With Cade Cunningham.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And crew. Understand? They're
yeah, Jamie, I already know about that team. Come on, man.
Exactly. But what it does is it provides an opportunity for certain players, especially unsigned seniors, who feel that you are at a certain status to show and prove.
I got you.
I don't expect you to go and outplay Cade Cunningham. No. But if the game is if the spread is a 50-point spread, know what that means? Ain't nobody playing defense in the fourth quarter. I mean, you go get it. You go get anything you want in the fourth quarter. Nobody defending nobody in the fourth quarter. You can get a dunk, do whatever you want to do. This thing, what it does, once again, this opportunity, it put some people in their place. So now for others, guess what? It's gonna be another time.
But Jimmy, I don't know, and you, because you know this high school basketball a little bit. You know, you watch it a lot more than I did. I wouldn't say it put him in his place. You got to understand, to compete with a team like that, you got to have other dudes with you. Antoine Norman, he needed some more dudes. You got to have. Them dudes got everybody on their, I don't know, I haven't looked at Mount Verde's roster. But those guys go to that school, are recruited to go to that school, or wants to go to that school. They play basketball.
That's their life. That's the job.
I don't know nothing about no classes they go to. They playing basketball. So, dude, it's easy. That's why Duke beat up. Duke got more. You know, I used to laugh when little old Cornell used to play the Syracuse in the pit. Jimmy, we hang with them early for a half, right? And guess what? Dude come down and tell me, hey, man, the game might be tied now, but when Boeheim get through with them referees over there, the game gonna change in a few minutes. And Jimmy, I mean, like right on cue, Bam, bam, bam. They got more dudes. Yates didn't have all their dudes. They got more dudes. So when you look at that, that situation, you got how many? Five? You said 4 or 5 guys that we would count on. I said we because Yates is Houston. We were counting on to be there, wasn't there. So
when they made the schedule. Yeah,
so
when the schedule
Antoine could have been. Antoine had to be. He had to be L.J. Crowder in order to make that happen.
Well, he had to 2 for 18. That's all I'm saying. 2 for 18.
Oh, so he shot. Oh, he just can make a shot.
2 for 8.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. I'm sorry, Antoine. I tried, baby. I didn't have a stat sheet ahead of me, but 2 for 18. Okay, all right. He had a bad game, but no such thing as a bad game in a big game.
And that's all I'm saying. Like certain guys, if you're gonna shoot that many shots on that type of stage, then come on, man.
They fall sometimes, Jimmy. What you expect from them to not shoot?
No, I'm saying that the game is a blowout. If you ever watch blowouts, put it like
wait a minute. When the game start being a blowout? At what point?
First quarter, they were down by 20.
Let me just shut up, man. Keep talking. Let me just be quiet.
Hold on. On the first day, Yates played Sunrise Academy, right? The score was 25-3 at the end of the first quarter. 25-3 at the end of the first quarter. Put this like this. In that game, Antoine Norman played 30 out of the 32 minutes. He had 27. You see?
So he had 27. Well, Jimmy shot his load the night before.
I understand that. So I mean, so he didn't stink.
Right.
Overall, he broke even.
Yeah.
But people, the last lingers longest. Remember that.
Oh, like that game Bryce had? Okay. No, that's a shameless plug. I'm sorry. Keep going.
But overall, the perspective of Houston, there were only 2 teams up there.
Right.
And even if you look at it on the Dallas side of the fence, Dallas Kimball played 1 game on Friday.
Like that team.
Houston on Saturday. They have a sophomore at Arterio Morris. He's that's part of that sophomore class with Bryce and Keontae George. This kid right here now, remember, he's not far away.
No, he's good.
Not far away. He's freaking talented. Now, depends on, like I say, some guys gain momentum in the high school. Some guys gain momentum in the summer. But the summer, the grassroots season provides more opportunities because you can play there's no cap on how many games you can play and how far you can travel. Like one of the people asked last week about Greg Brown. Why isn't Greg Brown, if he's considered the #1 player in the state, all of these showcases, why isn't Vandergrift High School playing? Well, guess what? That school district has a restriction on how far they can travel to play a game. See what I'm saying? That I mentioned earlier.
Right.
That sucks.
Right. Memphis got that restriction, Jimmy.
They got, what is it?
I don't know the thing because something happened that they couldn't play and they committed to the game, and Penny still took the kids to the game and let them just enjoy the experience, but they couldn't play because of that restriction. But Jimmy, it's so funny. Arterio, the young kid you talking about, Arterio Morris. Let me tell you something. They came down here and played in the Texas Jamboree, and he ran into a buzzsaw named L.J. Cryer.
What L.J. do?
Jimmy, I think somewhere right now he's still shooting and making threes, Jimmy. Jimmy, let me tell you something. I done watched a lot of basketball, right? This man was 12 of 14 from the three-point line. Let me rewind that in press play. 12, y'all listen to me now.
12 of 14.
12 of 14 from 3. I know people can't go 12 for 14 from the free throw line. Jimmy, let me tell you something. Arterio Mars, when he went back to Dallas, I know he said, wow. Buzzsaw. He could have had a 50-piece easy, missed a couple free throws. And I mean, it was just a unique performance. And I'm going to segue over. And Jimmy, at the same time, in the other building, Westbury Christian was playing against Sharpstown. And I had some partners of mine who don't usually go to these games. They were excited. They left out of this LJ game and went over there because they wanted to see the big guys because, you know, usually in high school, you don't see two big guys going at it, right? So they went over there and was bragging about, man, these dudes dunking. Who's like, these dudes, I mean, it was exciting. And I said, you left a dude just hit 50 to come here and watch this? What's going on? So it was a great, like I said, I had a great time over there. And I know you wasn't there, so I don't know how much you're going to talk about it. But Josh Farmer and my young fella, Xavier Francis.
What happened on that matchup, Hal?
Jimmy, I didn't see it all. I was watching the 50. I went over there. Jimmy, listen to me. I went over there, but when LJ and them had a timeout, I mean, I had a dilemma. Rick, why you had them two great games like that, Jimmy? It was packed in both places, but boy, let me tell you something. Xavier Francis and Josh Farmer, but Josh Farmer got another dude on the team. I didn't know, number 33. They was bragging about him. They said, hey, what's his name, Jimmy? You know his name? Huh?
Brian.
Dude,
Brian. People
were talking about that game, those two games at the same time. He just had two great games at the same time. And what was so unique, and even what I loved about it, LJ went up another guy and guess who was in the building? Oregon was in the building. Tony Stubblefield offered that kid, Arterio Mars.
Yes, that's who he came to see.
Yes.
He came in town. That was his primary.
Okay.
His primary.
Uh-huh.
Tony Stubblefield called me before on Friday morning. Well,
right.
Actually, he texted me on Thanksgiving night, and he called me on Friday morning because he thought I was in Houston. And he was like, I'm on the way down there, Chief. Well, you know, they were playing. Oregon had a game.
Thanks, Steve.
And so he said after the game was over, he was going to determine if he would need to get it's more convenient to get to Houston.
Right.
And I told him I was going to be in Dallas the whole weekend. And that's why he was coming here for that young man. That young man picked up Arterio. He's very good. And what happens is
gonna be good.
That's what I'm saying. LJ Cry did what he was supposed to do.
Yes.
On that stage.
But Jimmy, you know what? Let me tell y'all something, Houston. Some of the referees, you know, because I was telling my friends, dude, you just left a dude that just hit 50 to come over here to watch this. And the referees was saying like, well, LJ does that all the time. Let me tell you something. LJ Cry, I've never heard of this before. People expect for him to have 40. Jimmy, when the last time, you got to help me. When the last time that somebody, the people just expect for this guy to have 40 every time he come out? Help me out with that one, Jimmy.
You say the last time locally?
You done heard that. Listen, the guy said, well, the reason I came over here to watch these guys, because I know what LJ gonna do. I expect for him to have 40. I said, wow. You remember what you said about expectations?
Absolutely.
These people expect this man. It's like a yarn, Jimmy. I mean, do y'all know how hard it is to hit 46 points? I wonder how many on this Facebook feed that has 46 points before. If you have, Herb Baker probably have. Tack Minor, I know he have. But, Jimmy, I'm talking about like, it's like a yarn. Like, oh, yes, he'll hit 40. Yeah, that's LJ. Unbelievable. Was Fox like that?
Fox was like that. Fox scored. Fox.
No.
Fox,
I'm talking about every time this dude said, I don't need to look at LJ. I know he gonna have 40. You didn't think of Fox like that, did you?
Yeah, you thought Fox was going to, and also you went to see De'Aaron Fox because you knew he was going to give you a highlight, and you wanted to see what the highlight was going to be in that particular game.
Okay.
But as time progressed, De'Aaron Fox didn't. It appeared he wasn't. Mm-hmm. He knew it was more or less. He knew that he didn't. It seemed. I mean, I'm trying to get it right. He didn't seem to have the drive to try to go and touch that threshold of scoring all the points, more so as to get the others, guys involved. And Martin Ranches, this was what LJ does.
He have to do that.
Exactly. And remember,
Eddie didn't play, Jimmy.
Eddie Lampkin
didn't play at all.
Did not play. And I heard that Doug Jones provided informing that Eddie wrote his other knee.
Yeah,
is a little mildly banged up from at the Hoops Giving Classic. So Eddie Lampkin now will be resting for an extended amount of time. The Katy ISD tournament takes place this weekend.
Wow.
So I'm not expecting, if his knee was swollen.
Yeah, he was limping a little bit.
Then guess what? Mm-hmm. Then why not was he in a brace?
No, he was walking. He's just limping a little bit.
Okay, but Alex, I'm not a physician, but I do know one thing. Mm-hmm. We had Michael Smith on the Robert Horry Sports Medicine and Rehab. He was they provided the trainers for the Super 16 extravaganza. Mm-hmm. Also, they provided the trainers for a lot of our events. I remember him telling the coaches from various teams and some of the players, if you have problems, call Robert Horry Sports Medicine Rehab or Michael Smith, and they have physicians all over town in the sports medicine business to try to help out. Guess what? You don't have insurance. Mike Smith and the crew, they will still get somebody to see you guys for initial evaluation. That's the thing that scares a lot of people, is the insurance component.
That's good, Jim. I got one for you, because I saw B. Scott said something, and I want to address this because I've addressed this on the show before. B. Scott said triple-double has always been more impressive to her. Well, that's maybe to you, because let me show you why. We got a young man that averaged a triple-double for a whole season in the NBA, and he wasn't even in the top 3 of the MVP voting. Russell Westbrook, I'm talking about, last year. Let me repeat that. Maybe because he did it 2 or 3, it's impressive to you, but this guy averaged it, and he still, it wasn't impressive to the MVP voters. So I don't understand. I just don't understand. Sometimes you have to just do what I would do. I would say you just have to do what it is for your team to win. If LJ Crowder don't have 46 points the other night, his team wouldn't win. And I don't care how many times he passed it. I don't care how many times he got off it or whatever. If he hadn't scored that efficiently, y'all, I don't think y'all heard me. Y'all go back in your history. If y'all think y'all play basketball, how many of y'all that had 14 shots at the 3 and hit 12 of them in a big game on a big stage before? Not happening. So
what was LJ Crowder from 3-point land again?
12 or 14.
12 or 14.
Yes.
Doug Jones just came, and Doug stopped by the office this morning. Doug said, every time LJ Crowder hit a bucket, Robert Haller got and stood up.
I had to, man.
Your back ought to be hurting you.
No, I got a good back.
What Jimmy, you standing up for? What you were doing?
Jimmy,
what made you stand up?
Let me tell you something about it. You got to understand who my nephew is. Stephen Curry, right? I like the long ball. You know why? Because I can shoot the long ball, and I'm smart enough to know the chicks love the long ball. So guess what? I'm a long ball shooter, right? So LJ, sit there, Jimmy, and Doug can't get up that many times like I can. Because he probably wanted to, he just couldn't. But guess what, Jimmy? 14, the man shot 14 of them. And hit 12 of them. Yeah, hey, I haven't seen that, y'all. That's all I'm saying. I haven't seen that. So wait a minute. It might be normal to y'all. Because y'all been around such great marksmen and great shooters. But guess what? I like to see somebody put that ball in the hole like that. And Jimmy, every shot was needed. What's the boy, Arteria Morris, every time he scored, El said, okay, bam. If somebody else on the team scored, El might, okay, all right, y'all, let Morris score. El came back down, bam. I said, unbelievable performance. You got to go to Baller TV and go back and look at it and see what I'm talking about. Then Doug will know why I was getting up and down, up and down.
Well, now this is probably the perfect time to segue into our mailbag, whereas B. Scott posed this question, and I shared with you guys, and that way now you guys can give your comments on this question. Can we discuss how Houston emphasizes points scored in a way that seems to be moving our culture to one high score per team to the developmental detriment of the other kids, as compared to Dallas and beyond, where the stat sheets consistently show 2 to 4 kids in double digits, though not as many kids with high 30-point totals. It seems that 16 to 25 points for 2 to 3 kids is more likely to get 2 to 3 kids recruited at a higher level than normal. If one kid is scoring double digits on Houston team, how are those other kids going to get developed and recruited? And that's pretty much a question in a nutshell. It goes further, but we stop right there.
Jimmy, where you find that at? Where she send that to? Which email she send it?
She sent that to in our DMs.
Okay. Because I want to read it. Now, I'm gonna let you, because I want to read it again.
So once again, I answer. You share my opinion, my thoughts on this. Expectations. And as Ashley Jones just provided a while ago, and that's exactly the nail that I was been hammering from earlier today at the beginning of the show. Shout out to Big E, Irvin Davis on the Chop Shop. What's going on, Big E? Dallas Showtime. But here's the thing. Not all players have a certain threshold of points that they must score. It depends on how you advertise and based on what you are doing in your body of work. For example, over at Episcopal High School, Jahari Long was one of the top 5 players in the Greater Houston, right? Nobody expects Jahari Long to go out and score 25 points a game. You see, there's no point. See, but everybody, so that means if Jahari Long scores 18 points, 20 points, it's going to be a good game. Because that's not what he's known. That's not what the sale is. Eddie Lampkin had 18 points the other day. Right? LJ Cry didn't play on Wednesday at the Hoops Giving Classic. Eddie Lampkin had a great game. Right? And he didn't even score 20 points. The expectation for Eddie Lampkin ain't to score 20 points. Expectation for Eddie Lampkin is about really, I expect Eddie to bring 14 and 14 every game. And that's lowballing what it should be. But based on what we see in his health, he's been chasing nagging injuries for the past 2 years. Combined with his health and his weight, he's been chasing to get that right. Guess what? When he gets to TCU, they have a guy on staff that's called what they call the guy, the weight guy. That's his. I can't think of the job.
Strength and conditioning coach.
The strength and conditioning coach. He gets paid 6 digits to ensure the dietary, habits are in sync for a lot of the prospects. Trust me, they'll get that right. We had a kid 5 or 10 years ago named Dexter Pittman from Rosenberg Terry High School. Dexter Pittman was over 300 pounds when he went to the University of Texas. They got that weight up on him. That's going to happen. So meanwhile, back to this conversation. Tramon Mark had cultivated himself into a scorer. So we expect Tramon Mark to give a 30 clip every doggone game. We expect that. This little kid, Braylon Bush out of Silsbee, I thought he opened the season scoring 65 points. So guess what we expect him to do? We expect him to come out and score, and not 65, but score as he did what? How many he had when you saw him over there? About 35, 45 the other night?
Yeah, and I wasn't paying attention.
That's expected. Once you establish that you can do, and in the process of doing it, you reach over to get people's attention. Or not necessarily you, but people in your camp or people in your following or under your part of your tree. Hey, y'all talking about that kid. What about my kid? Jordan Ivy Curry from down at Lamarck High School. He's one of the leaders in scoring, second behind LJ Cryer right now in the city. Jordan Ivy Curry has put up 40 points 3 times this year. Every time he played, that's expected now. You establish the expectation.
Jimmy, I'm trying to find her point because I didn't understand what you were saying. I was looking. She must have sent it to you. She didn't send it to our mailbox. She must have sent it to you. What is her point?
Well, I guess you've seen that the Dallas teams, a lot of the teams she's seeing from, I guess, box score viewing. And like, say, for example, we mentioned the Bryce Griggs scoring the 41 points the other night in the win over Louisville.
But yeah, I'm still saying, what is your point?
Nobody else on the team scored in double digits. So I guess her thing was not necessarily that game, but she's thinking, I'm giving an example. Why is it so many games like that in Houston where there's one kid scoring the points and not 2 or 3? Instead of having why is it, okay, the 40 is good, but why isn't there a 40 or 20 and a 10?
But have she ever thought about the other players on this team might just be better in Dallas and able to get those? Y'all got to understand, man, these opportunities, I mean, you got to watch the game. That's why I always tell y'all, and Jimmy is the stat guy. I don't look at the stat sheet. I like to watch the game. Then I looked at stat sheet. Y'all, sometimes numbers do lie. I know they tell y'all in the rap songs, sometimes numbers don't tell the whole story. And I just don't understand. I'm just trying to figure out the point. Of course, every team would love to have all 10 players scoring in double figures on the team. Oh, it's not going to happen. Anthony Fobb. We had a guy that scored 60 in 3 quarters around here. Because James Harden got the ability to score the basketball. B. Scott, to me, some people's abilities are better than other people's. That's the point. I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, I don't understand her point. Maybe I need to read the whole thing. I just don't understand.
And in defense of Houston, there are teams. First of all, we mentioned Martin Ranch. This is the last I'm speaking of Martin Ranch today. We spoke about Martin Ranch enough.
No, you can speak about him some more. Keep going.
But Martin Ranch, if you don't know, see, that's the thing about some people are looking but not necessarily paying attention. 2 years ago, not 1 year ago, 2 years ago, Martin Ranch we had anointed Martin Ranch as having a big 3. It was LJ Cryer, Eddie Lampkin, and at the time, Wesley Sellers. Wesley Sellers was ranked in the top 25 in the area. So that means expectation. Once you're in the top 25, it's a different level of expectations on you. Wesley Sellers did not exceed himself. That Eddie Lampkin got attention because of his body and because of the platform he played on. Wesley Sellers went and played on a non-sneaker stage, even though he played on a sub-sneaker tier with, I think, with Mel Holloway, if I'm not mistaken. But now that wasn't a big three no more. It's now they turned to a big two plus whoever else the mystery man tonight. Could it be Adrian Caldwell? Could it be Wesley Sellers? But we don't know who's the big three. Go over to Dickinson High School. Marcus Williams, who signed with Northern Colorado. Tremont Mark, that's 2 Division I's, just like Martin Ranch. 2 Division I's. Deuce Guidry came off injury. He would complete their big three, meaning that 3 guys that you definitely expect to produce. You got Tremont Mark going to produce, I say, around a 30 spot. Marcus Williams will produce around a 20 spot, 20 to 25 spot, and then you would have Deuce Guidry with a 15-point slot. That's the high school version of a big three, which can get you 60 plus points, 70 points between those 3 guys. That we have teams in Houston that has the scoring diverse like that. That's just a rare thing. Don't make it seem like Dallas never had that. Did you see Little Elm High School last year?
Thank you. Oh my God, Jimmy. Oh my goodness.
R.J. Hampton. You see the point differentials and the variations of how it went there. They have it. It's everywhere.
You know we're prisoners of the moment, Jimmy. We're prisoners of the moment. And, and I understand, but I mean, I'm just trying to see what she getting at. Cause let me tell y'all something. If somebody on your team can play, he gonna score too. You know what? Chris Walker always said this. Don't nobody complain about this, but the people ain't scoring. He said the best players don't complain about this. I'm just telling you now. He said the best players never transfer. He said the players who get they never transfer. So, I mean, that's what I don't understand. I've never seen a high school team that people on the team, 13 players. 13 players scoring in double figures. 6 players scoring in double. It's just not going to happen. Just not going to happen. Guys, it's skill. Hey, Jimmy, we had, this weekend, the little boy Marcus Howard, B. Scott, from Marquette. Okay? Oh, scored 50 points one game. Do you know what them boys put on him? Them boys from Maryland had him. Guess what he scored the next game? Shot all the balls too. B. Scott. Guess what he scored? 6 points. He had 50 points one game. Next game.
The game after the game is undefeated.
Game after the game. That's how this basketball is. If you ain't never played this game, you probably will never, ever understand it. Everybody, it's not an equal opportunity game. Let me repeat that. It's called a score. My coach taught me it's a scoring hierarchy. If you can't make these shots in practice, don't be shooting them in my game. But Stephen Wood said something, and I will attest to it because I was there in his practice one time. And he took a guy out from not shooting the basketball. Let me repeat. That team you talking about, B. Scott, one of them teams. I've seen the coach take a kid out for not shooting the basketball. Not shooting the basketball. It's just, basketball is not an equal opportunity sport. Jimmy gave you a great example, Lil Am. And there's some more examples up there. You just hadn't seen them yet. You've just seen the Houston kids and see this, and you want to have a kumbaya moment. But let me tell you something. These kids been putting in work. And when the stage is big, some people perform better and some people just don't. Ain't no big deal. It's no big deal. Jimmy?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I mean, a lot of times people get caught up on different narratives, and once again, there's more mouthpieces. So that means there's more narratives that are pushed through, and people, at the end of the day, a lot of people. How to put this?
Uh-oh.
A lot of opinions that you guys you run with when it's favorable. But then the minute something is unfavorable, then you question the validity of the opinion of the person who spewed the opinion. That's when it comes. That's what you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. In other words, you're going to retweet it when it comes from John Doe with 12 followers. He writes something good, you retweeting it, you liking it, you loving it, and you running on with it. Same dude with 12 followers come back next week and say, you suck. So now he don't know what he's talking about. He's sorry.
He didn't play.
I ain't studying about you. I mean, think about how messed up we are and allowed social media to get us there.
Yeah. Social media. Yeah. Social media
to get us there.
Yeah.
You know, and I use my famous Hicksism in reference to social media.
Right.
You don't want people in your business, yet you put your business in front of people. You putting your business out there, but the minute something ain't right, you don't want nobody in your business. So why are you putting it out there? You gotta realize it comes with it.
Perfect example. Jimmy, perfect example. We just talked about it this morning. D Wade on social media blasting people about what they said about his son. Don't put it out there, dude. You put it out there for likes. D Wade, you took the family picture with your son with a crop top on and nails long. Jimmy, if he kept that picture with his at home, wouldn't nobody said nothing about it. But you did that, D Wade. So I mean, and Jimmy, but what I don't like is when you convict me on the front page, but you apologize on the back page. That's the. But I guess what? I guess that's what you call that.
That's just how it goes.
That's just how it goes.
That's just how it goes. I mean, and the thing is, with anybody, you have a platform and you can remind the person, hey, that's what it was. And hey, look, this guy said this, and so like I mentioned, and Charles Campbell's on there right now. And Charles, you one of the guys that did not believe in that what was going to take place in Dallas, that it was going to result in the manner of which it did.
Charles Campbell, what happened? What happened? You missed me.
He was. I'm not gonna say he was not necessarily anti-Bryce Griggs, but he was very, 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 very pro Keontae George, and as a lot of guys.
Is Charles from Dallas?
Yes.
He's supposed to be.
Not necessarily. Not. Guess what? If there's a kid out there, and if R.J. Hampton was coming to town for Lil M, it wasn't saying R.J. Hampton gonna come down there and get his head beat in. We wasn't saying R.J. Hampton. It was like he's a show. Come watch him. He's about to play on the show, but then the team couldn't end up not playing in the Christmas crossover. But I understand Tyrese Maxey came down here with his team in the Cypress tournament. When you got a kid and it's a showdown, you'll say we're gonna see. Or if it's a good sport, ain't no way in the world that they gonna be. That's what happens sometimes. You got to play, and the way that which Keontae George played is pretty much how he played in Pasadena. This is what I'm telling you. I saw both teams play. How many guys in Dallas had seen both teams play more than once this season? I was watching the mannerism, how they get the money. Remember, now he's very good. That don't make him not good because he didn't win the game.
No.
It came out to a buzzer beater. What it did was it just made people wake up and stop spewing the false and the opinions with so much conviction, but when it's over with, you don't even want to come get in the conversation no more. Come on. Boom, boom, right there.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know nothing about that.
What happened?
Yeah, I didn't get no phone calls. Did
See,
nobody text me and said nothing?
In other words, understand something. It's like I mentioned Yates earlier. Lost by 37 one game, 52 the next game. Trust me, man. The only thing that people wasn't even worried about, it was like when they found out and the word had circulated before they even, in the first quarter of the first game Friday night, the word had circulated throughout the building. Yates has 3 guys, and well, 4, but they really counting the 3, that Latrell Moore is the 4th guy, who I couldn't think of his name earlier. Latrell Moore played varsity at Yates in the 9th grade. Went over to Willow Ridge. Now he's in the 11th grade. He's back at Yates. He's waiting on his eligibility to be cleared as well. They called him Baby Snap. Jumped out the gym as a 9th grade, was promising athlete. But Gerald Doaks, Chuck Chooks, and Allen, those because a lot of people on the national plane are familiar with those 3 names. They played on the sneaker circuit with the We All Can Go summer team that played under the EYB and the EYBL. So people knew those names. They was like, oh, that's why they're not playing. So now the disclaimer was formed. Or it could have been, man, Yates is that bad? Yates, sorry. Well, we set the disclaimer. I did my job of trying to set that people understood. Now, moving along, still, you still got to put up points. I expected Yates to get beat by 50 against Montverde. But I did.
I don't never expect Yates that to happen to you.
This
I don't.
team that suited up, hell, if you saw them little boys, I had one dude ask me on Friday night, he said, is that the JV team?
Oh, that's right. We are a little small now. We are a little small. Yes, right.
Dude, I swear to you, the jerseys falling off the kid, they so small.
Okay.
We don't lift weights.
So Jimmy, when this game was put together, it was put with the hopes of having all of these dudes with him.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And it's not, if this was a summer ball, a grassroots event, they would have changed the schedule. If it was but in high school, you printed all this material up, you printed the schedules up, you published all this stuff, and teams have bus schedules. They have their schedule about when they're going to eat, when they're going to do shoot around. If you change that up, they've done scouting. Remember now, some of these teams, is their first game of the season, so they've been scouting.
Right.
You don't do that type of stuff in high school basketball.
I got a question, Jimmy. You were there. Did Keontae and them didn't play on Friday? They had a chance to watch Bryce now.
Yeah.
Tell Glenn, I hope he's still on it. Did Glenn do that intentionally?
I'm not sure. I can't
Hold up, man. Hold up, y'all. Hey, it just came to my. Hold on, y'all. That's some dirty pool right there, Jimmy. Thanks for bringing up scouting, Jimmy, because you made me think about that. So Keontae and them get a whole night's sleep and sit there and get to watch everything about Bryce and them, and then get a chance to come and play them the next day. Wow, Glenn, no, man. Jimmy, I can't believe you let that happen. You was down there.
Man, indeed. I mean, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
I didn't think about it.
One thing we definitely want to think about, and there's 2 things we shift gears.
What we got?
You spoke about college basketball. You mentioned Marquette. How about over the weekend, the job that Juwan Howard did with the Michigan Wolverines with their big, huge wins, winning their tournament. And now they've been rewarded with the number 4 in the nation ranking. Michigan has went from unranked to number 4 in the country on the Associated Press poll, which was released about an hour and a half ago. And they are 7-0 on the season. That's right. Michigan is number 4 behind Maryland, Kansas, Louisville.
Jimmy, you see him dancing? I can't believe I don't have it on my video. Did you see Juwan dancing?
Like he trying to cut a rug like me or something out there.
Y'all about to say. But that Jimmy, that was you. Hey, Jimmy, I'm so proud, Jimmy. All I'm saying is, universities, if you're out there watching, Give these young men a chance. Don't just pigeonhole them. Man, they from the NBA. They ain't going to pull up with the grind. I don't know nobody work hard than Penny Hardaway. Call me in the middle of the night. He watching videos about games. Let me tell you something. I don't know nobody. Thank God he's not married. I don't know nobody who works that hard. And Juwan Howard. Now I just want Jerry Stackhouse to benefit. So guess what that's going to allow? That's going to allow the Sam Cassells or the Nick Van Exels. If these guys are given a chance at this level, Jimmy, they will succeed. These guys, always remember, these guys has beat the odds all they like. The Damon Stoudemires. Damon got Pacific playing a lot better now. Jimmy, I'm watching NCAA, man. I'm watching with McNeese State. They was handling Texas, Jimmy.
This really?
Oh man, they was Texas. I think Texas beat them by 2. Jimmy, let me show you something, man.
Wow.
Let me show you something, man. I saw something, and then University of San Antonio, Texas San Antonio, Prairie View went up there and beat them.
Prairie View beat UTSA?
Yes. Fairfield.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
That's hold on. That's really important. You're talking about the SWAC right now. The SWAC has a dear piece of real estate in my heart. Byron Smith was at the Hoops Giving Classic last Wednesday. So hold on. So
go pull it up.
What day was that on?
I don't know. It had to be over the weekend. It's like what your boy Rothstein said. John Ross, he said, the epitome of brutality.
Wait a minute. Huh? You guys know, understand, and forgive me. I was consumed with high school basketball all weekend.
I got you back.
And a little bit of high school football as well.
Yeah.
But let me acknowledge the SWAC. They pulled off the 3-peat on Saturday.
TSU beat Lamar.
Alabama State beat Chicago State. Prairie View beat UTSA. And my Texas Southern Tigers.
Is mine now? Oh my goodness. You claiming them now? Boy, oh my goodness.
They won. I'm down with them. And guess what? In this game, the Prairie View game, Tamir Bynum, formerly of Lamar High School, he played at UTSA last year.
Yeah.
Transferred to Prairie View. And he played 16 minutes that game, hit all 3 of his field goal attempts, had 7 points.
I like that kid.
In that win.
I like him. Yeah.
And man, that's a humongous win for Prairie View.
Hold up, Jim.
On the road.
Did you see what Frey said?
What's that?
Southern beat IPUI. We didn't need that to happen.
Byron Rim, see, it's the game after the game. Just watch. Let's find out whose scout that was.
I don't know. Go. This college basketball week. Hold up. Fairfield, Jimmy. Fairfield. They beat Texas A&M in Orlando.
Fairfield did beat A&M yesterday.
Yes.
Let me tell you something, man. I heard some stuff coming out of the College Station. Them kids bowed out. They bowed out. Buzz Williams, he's one of the most influential guys, or known as one of the most influential, inspiring coaches. He gives daily motivation. And understand, when you lose, these ain't my kids. I got to get some players. TJ Starks announced he's transferring. He's already left the team.
Yeah.
Remember, and before Buzz can get the ink dried on the paper, the young man went to Gonzaga. The can't think of his name.
The guard.
Yes.
He playing well out there. Armand Gilder.
Admon Gilder. Mm-hmm. So realize now it goes to show.
What did it show?
Look Guys, do you guys pay attention to this stuff?
What,
To
man?
some of these players. Think about it. I was looking at TSU. Speaking of A&M, John Walker played at A&M, went to Thurgood Marshall High School. He went to state 3 years ago. He goes to Texas A&M, plays sparingly, transfers to TSU, right? And now he's at a place where he can make a difference. He couldn't make a difference at A&M. You wanted to prove to everybody you went to A&M. Do it. Waste a year of your life. So now he's at TSU. Guess what he does? Plays against Lamar, 20 points, 5 rebounds, right?
Man.
And a W in 30 minutes. You never play 30 minutes if you stay at A&M, right? How about another kid over there? Speaking of big Jethro. Played for Jazzy. Can't mention his last name, an African-based kid.
Okay.
Jethro transferred from Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
He's at Texas A&M right now. I'm sorry, at Texas Southern right now. Started, played 14 minutes in that win the other night. A lot of times people don't realize how much talent. Remember Bryson Etienne?
Yes.
High school?
Yeah.
He's coming off the bench at TSU. So if you got a kid right now in high school, put it like this. Of all the unsigned seniors right now in Houston or in DFW or in your city that's unsigned right now, how many of them right now that you can look right now and say that they better than Bryson Etienne right now if they're guard? How many guards are unsigned right now that are better than the Reader's twin? He played 5 minutes. His brother is red shirt, the other twin. Okay. He's not even gonna touch. This nigga played 5 minutes. That's about what he's averaging, about 7 or 8 minutes a game. Now, understand, and people try to go and use excuses like, well, man, I don't know, I don't want to go there. We better than that. Wait a minute. So you're saying you're better than a guy that went to a Power 5 conference and transferred there. Remember now, Daniel Ewing's little nephew is there as well.
He's still there?
Eden Ewing.
I didn't know he was still there.
He's gone?
No, I just didn't know. Let
me look, make sure. Let me look up, make sure Eden gone. No, we're getting old now, Howard. We're getting old. And speaking of Etienne is the guy who he came off the bench, played 12 minutes, hit the game-winning free throws against that Lamar team. Yes, wow. Eden Ewing is still out. He's hurt right now. Okay. Eden Ewing went to he committed to Nevada, went to signed with Purdue.
Right.
So if your unsigned senior that can't get a scholarship or D1 offer now, and you thinking in your mind, oh man, he at least should go. He could play at TSU in front of who?
Dude.
I don't get it. Y'all help explain this to me. Listen, boom, boom, boom. Let's get smarter, man. We can't let people go out there and keep hitting their head against the walls with crap, not being able to think. Let them know who you're going to play in front of at these schools you're talking about. This kid I just mentioned a while ago from Prairie View that went to UTSA last year, he comes off the bench. That kid averaged about 25 points a game, 7 points a game in high school. Played at UTSA. Now he's a sophomore at PV. If you a guard coming into PV next year, Tamir Bynum, are you better than Tamir Bynum? Because college coaches, the coach is going to probably play the best players, especially when the game in the second half. May not start the best player, but the best player is going to finish. You remember that in these ball games. But people keep pushing and floating bull crap narratives, and then a smile in those coaches' faces, and they know it. Byron Smith, we talked about, he knows it. He knows some of you guys out there. Johnny Jones, he definitely knows.
He knows you.
He's an old school. He knows. He knows how, because actions speak louder The fact that you don't, he knows. You can tell, you can feel when a guy comes to you shaking their hand. If they used to saying that when he was at LSU, you had a whole different type of conversation for him. Now you're at TSU, you ain't got no combo for him. Until
cool
you got
guy.
some little kid that can't get none that's 5'2", and you want him to take some midget on his program. Where you gonna play at? Remember I told you, the second Rita's twin is red shirting. That means they don't need him this year.
And that's all that means. They don't need him this year.
They don't need him this year. That's what
Right.
that means. Tell me, you know what that means? That means he's gonna be much better 10 months from now.
That's right.
And he got a brother that's a twin that's at the same position, right? And the starting guard goes out. Tariq Armstrong was on that Elkins team that went to state with Chad Bowie and all those guys.
I remember.
Elkins High School? Remember Chad Bowie, right?
I remember them, but I don't remember the guy.
Tariq Armstrong was on that team. He was like the third leading scorer on that team.
Okay.
He's the starting point guard at TSU.
Whoa. So you saying the third leading scorer
In his high school.
on a high school team is now the starter, B. Scott, for TSU?
Yes. A team that went to state and they won.
Dude, all you got to do is play. That's all. I just wanted to. All you got to do is play. But keep going, Jim.
My point is, is people understand what's on these rosters. Who's on the rosters? Let's take SMU. Shout out to Kendrick Davis. He's doing great.
Oh my goodness.
To move over to SMU. Guess what? He went to a program where he can make a difference, an impact. So now he's at SMU. He's averaging 19 points a game, player of the week. They're winning with him in there, having fun. Guess what? And Darius McNeil is sitting out.
He's got to sit out though, right?
Well, he's awaiting eligibility, waiting on his appeal, on the results of his appeal. So if Darius McNeil is sitting out, do you not understand this? SMU, Darius McNeil started every game at Cal in the Pac-10.
Played 30 minutes a game, coach. Almost 30 minutes a game.
Right? Last year.
Yeah.
So he's 12 months advanced from after sitting out. He's gonna be 12 months advanced. And you a guard in high school talking about, well, I can play it. I don't know about SMU. Kendrick Davis is a sophomore. Let me say that again. Kendrick Davis is a sophomore. Mm-hmm. Look at the rosters and you see what's out there. And that's what people are not doing. Some of these same guys are a year, 2 years, 3 years older, better than they were in high school. And that's one of the things that people don't get. Over at Sam Houston State right now, Pierce Helms is getting red shirted.
Right.
This dude led his high school team to a state championship, as well as didn't lose but like one game in 2 years or something like that at Concordia Lutheran.
So, Jimmy, what you're saying, you're not telling them not to expect to want to play or start, but if you or want to be in one, but understand what you're up against. Is that what you're trying to say? Dude, know what you're up against. Is that what you're trying to say, Jimbo? I'm just trying to figure it out because, listen, y'all, because some people will take this like, no, y'all. The transfer portal is full of people who didn't listen to the advice that Jimmy just gave. The transfer portal, because think about it. You got a guy like Darius McNeil, he left and he was playing.
Starting. And finishing.
And you just don't know what's going on these guys. And Jimmy, there's some people in this transfer portal. They still in the transfer portal too, Jimmy. They still there. It's like musical chairs with nowhere to land. You remember that game, Jimmy? Boy, I used to love to play that game. Because I'm going to get me a chair.
No, I made sure I was next to the girl.
Yeah, you lag back. You one of them dudes that lag back and didn't want to move. Yeah.
I'm going to get that leg up on that.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But that's a unique situation, though. I mean, but I tell them, guys, strive high, but it's a freshman. Freshman. Especially if you're a guard. Homeboy, you might not play that much, man. I'm going to repeat that. Freshman. You're a guard. Guards are dime a dozen. I know y'all don't hear it. I know they told y'all all of those recruiting information when they recruited you. But you can do. If you're a guard, you got to be special for them to put you on that floor. And Jimmy, you know what I found where the guys get lost at? So tell your sons this, please, since you want, y'all want to talk about that other stuff. The reason a lot of them freshmen be put on that bench, especially guards, because they get beat backdoor and lose their man backdoor, Jimmy. Jimmy, that's the quickest way to get you on the bench in college. Because in college, that backdoor is a dunk. In high school, that dude might miss the layup. So you follow me, Jim? So it's just and I hope y'all telling them this. I hope y'all tell them when you go to college as a freshman, man. If you're a guard, homeboy, you got the first day, Jimmy. I told this secret. I'm telling you, the first day of open gym, you got to tear somebody's head off. I'm gonna rewind that.
Oh man, go on, say it. I got some college coach told me about that topic.
Listen. The open gym, all that old friendship. Yeah, you call your open gym. I sent that little midget of mine away from here 1,700 miles, and all I told him, I said, man, find out who the guards. We picked them out on the website. Tear their head off the first night you play against them. He called me that night, Jimmy. I'll never forget. After the workout, guess what he said? It's a new sheriff in town. So guess what? Day one, little dude, no star. I don't remember no stars by his name. Came 1,700 miles away to New York. And some dude quit, Jimmy. Some dude quit off the team. One of the guards said, no, he quit. Yeah. The dude came up. That's the mindset. If you didn't know, that's the mindset you got to have. Now, what the coach tell you, Jimmy?
Well, I was talking with 3 Big 12 coaches this past weekend, and we were always talking together. Mm-hmm. And I always ask coaches questions because I'm always trying to learn and develop more of a better understanding of certain things. And this topic was parents of the young boy, like incoming freshmen, sophomores, or incoming transfers, or whatever. And how do you deal with the parents when it comes to those who feel that they kids should be playing more or starting or doing whatever? And I learned, I did not know. All 3 of those college coaches said that their programs regularly, whenever the situations arises about the want to have a company, they invite the parents to come to the practice. They invite the parents to come to the practice because they know at that time, they say normally the kid he gonna start off the practice with the energy that the parent thought that he had. They say, but sooner or later, throughout that workout, those 2 hours, something is going to happen every single time, to where that kid's going to revert back to the bad habits that's been preventing him from being on that court. It's pretty much about 90% of the time. Because these are 3 different coaches, not 3 coaches in the same school. 3 different colleges, Power 5s. Asking them about how do they handle parents. They say they invite their asses to the practice.
Yes, sir.
And I say, well, do they come? They say, yeah, a lot of them do come. Some every now and then, some of them don't, but they'll come. And they'll come there and they'll shake hands, sit there, and after that practice over with, they will see why they babies ain't touching that court. Because know what happens? They'll see just how good that other guy is. In fact, they think their son's supposed to be playing over. That's the first part that one of the coaches emphasized. They were discrediting little Johnny because little Johnny's role on that team is not to score a lot of points. It's to do certain things that they want your son to do, but he's doing them better. That's the difference. You a role guy. In college, they don't give a damn how many patches on your jacket. That's the thing. But we go and we once again, we don't want to tell these kids it ain't no damn such thing as Santa Claus.
Coach. And to the people who didn't hear it, because we've said it on this show before, what you said about Patrick Beverly, he led the state of Illinois in scoring.
Not the city of Chicago, the state.
The state of Illinois in scoring. What's kept him in the NBA? His defense. What if he was like some of these parents or what some of these kids right here? Man, I got to get my touches. Cause Jimmy, I got to get my touches. So-and-so, so-and-so scoring 30, and I ain't scoring before. What I tell you my favorite one, Jimmy? I tell a kid, coach told him, did he miss a shot? Yeah. Well, then consider one of his misses a pass to you and go get the dadgone rebound.
Hey.
Jimmy, it's rebounders in the league. Dudes just rebound and block shots are in the league right now, Jimmy.
But it's so many grown folk trying to prove. See, here's the thing. Sooner or later, if you're paying attention, the truth comes out. And that is grown folk will spend countless hours in an attempt to either to discredit or prove the next guy wrong. In doing so, you'll lose focus on what the hell you've been doing just to prove it wrong. Which, if that floats your boat, so be it. But then acknowledge and own your paddle. Own it. That's your paddle. That's what floats your boat. And I'm looking at one of the comments on the Boomer Room. Ashley says, I went to several practices. I looked at Ruben and said, man, you can do this. They're going hard. And
can you do this?
Now, can you do this?
Yeah.
So, here's the thing. What I did learn before. I'm gonna tell you, this real tricky. When you are a recruit and you go on campus, listen to me hard on this. Now, I'm not sure if every school does this, but I know a couple of them do. And I know one I know for sure. I saw it firsthand. Depends on how good, if they want you, every school they're going to assign, the college I'm talking about, they're going to assign certain players to be in town during your campus visit in the fall. Because guess what? They best player on the team might be a weed smoker. Your son might be a just clean cut and drug free. So they're not gonna let you see the weed smokers if they know that might be the deal breaker. I'm telling you how this go. When Tack Minor was at LSU, and it's a true story. Tack Minor he started every game he started 27 games as a freshman. A lot of people don't realize that. Tack started 27 games as a freshman, and they had the #1 recruiting class in the country.
But he was one of the #1 recruits in the country.
He was, but I'm saying that class, Tasman Mitchell, Brandon Bass, Tack Minor, all those guys are part of that class. Uh-huh. Then Glenn Big Baby Davis came the following year. But so understand this. He goes, when the kids would come in for the recruits on the following fall, they would always send Tack home. Tack wanted to be at home. Don't get twisted. They'd get Tack, hey man, go on home, see your folk, man. We know you want to be in Houston, go Acres home. Get on Acres home, or Independence Heights. So here's why. So the coach, because our thing in Houston was, man, why y'all letting Tech come back to these streets so much? Y'all need to keep him down there. So then coaching staff explained to me. They said that every good guard that was a 4 or 5 star that came into that place on the visit, they would play when Tech, before they start sending them home, they would play open gym. And that's what they do. Let the kids play with the team. 3-on-3 or some stuff. Tech didn't take no days off. You think he was bad with a whistle. Just think how he is without a whistle. When you're playing 3-on-3. So he would scare the kids off, and the parents would be watching because he's sitting there talking crazy to the kids.
Yeah, I remember you told me that.
Whooping their ass on the court because he's a bulldog.
Yes, you told me that.
And so they said they could not get no guards. That's why LSU was so thin at the point guard spot. And luckily, like I had the kid named Darius Mitchell from out of Louisiana, and Garrett Temple ended up filling the gap, and he's still playing the NBA right now today. Out of all those guys, he's the only guy still left is Garrett Temple. Here's my point. My point to you, Ashley, is to be careful because some programs, if they want your kid bad enough, they know who not to have on their court during the open gyms. That's what I'm saying. That's an old school trap. Not to saying that he's not good enough, you're not kicking, but because they want you to go back home and tell everybody how your son was playing with them boys. He can handle them big boys. He was kicking butt. They put the ones they wanted on their court. A one that.
But Jimmy, every school don't have no tack man. Tack was different. Every school ain't got no like tack now.
True that. But at the same time, you don't want to put your kid if you want to recruit. And in some situations, they will put him in the skillet.
Yeah.
They
put him in that skillet now.
They really don't want him. You got to think about it. You have 2 assistant coaches battling. They both got a point guard. They both want the boss man to take. You bring your assistant in, your recruit in. If I got influence, I'm going to tell little Johnny, who the second string, and that's my dude, hey, I want you to whip his ass. Because you whip his ass, he ain't going to come. That way they can take my other kid. I'm not saying it's dirty.
Oh, my God, this is dirty, Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy. Hey, what? That's why, Jimmy, I guess I was ahead of the game, Jimmy. Because I don't care what happened. I told my son what to do. That man called me back and said, it's a new sheriff in town. I'm going to be starting the first day of, he said, the first game, I'm going to be starting. I said, wow. And one night, he said, Dad, dude, you got you just got I'm serious. You can't go in there being Mr. Friendly. Mr. Knight, if that's your, Jimmy, be friendly on this side of the court. But when when you step over that side of the court, no prisoners. No prisoners.
That's I'm looking at some of the comments. And shout out to old Buffington. I see you on the feed, man. Good seeing you this past weekend, Buff. Hope you enjoyed the copy of the magazine. And took a lot of the guys on Press Row, got copies of the magazine. You guys can still get your copy. Locations where you can obtain a copy of the magazine are posted on the front of our website, rcssports.com. Let's go to rcssports.com. Get your copy of the magazine. If you're out of town or you're unable to get to one of the locations, 10 or more so locations, then we have set it up to where you can order a copy. We will send one, put one in your mailbox.
You'll do that for just one?
Yes. Look.
That's amazing. Let me see what you got.
I got an envelope already mailed. I got this one. Got to go mail off right now.
Man, don't put that lady address on there.
No, this a coach.
Oh, okay.
This is a high school. This is a high school coach. I'm telling you, high school in Victoria, Texas.
Okay.
Okay,
I thought it was the lady name was Victoria. My bad.
I'm putting it in there right now. When I leave, I got to go to the post office, and that's what I personally do.
Wow.
You guys want copies of the magazine, I will get them to you.
That's a hell of a service there.
A great resource, and guess what? The information is on the front of rcssports.com. We want to thank you guys. Tomorrow, guess where we are? What? We have reached the 20th game plateau for the NBA teams. So on tomorrow, we will go and do it. That's the end of the first quarter of the NBA basketball season.
I got something for you too. And guess what else I got for you tomorrow?
What's that?
You asked me a question the other day, and I had to think about it. But now I got the reason. After the night, he plays the night, I'm going to have you the reason why I choose Russell Wilson. Remember you asked me that question? I got some more information. The more information I get, guess what? The smarter I get. I got some more for you.
And guess what? You got some more? I saw some more on Sunday with this young fella with them plaits in his head. Hey, guess what I know?
You can pick him. Yeah, hey, listen. I said I like the kid. I didn't say I like the kid.
Hey, man. Hey, man. Al, you know it's cold out there. When white boys is cold, it's cold outside.
Yeah.
Them white boys was cold for the Baltimore and the Frisco 49ers. And this young man, and it was rain. And this man with the black.
That kicker wasn't cold.
The kicker was taking them shots in his foot. You know that, man. That's what he's taking them shots in his foot.
Wow, man, let's get out of here.
But the backup got plaits too. Them the only two in the history of the NFL.
Wow.
Both of them got plaits in their head. Not braids, not cornrows, plaits.
Dude.
RG3.
Dude.
And that bad boy Lance Jackson.
Oh, he's a bad boy. Hey, Lamar is a bad dude, but watch Sierra's husband tonight. Jimmy, how did we miss all because of Thanksgiving? You missed out on another whooping. Man, you know what? You know what, man? These holidays helping you out because you missed out on another NFL whooping on the picks. But that's all right. It's all good.
Yeah, we missed out on that. But once again, guys, look at that clock.
Let's get out of here. I got to get out of here.
It's time to yabba dabba do this thing and slide clean down Dino's back, guys. I know it's been great. 2 hours, the best 120 minutes of your day. But we need you guys to share the show. And that is very important for our digital footprint. Share the show, and let's continue the conversation on tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
We will talk more high school ball. We will recap more of the stuff that happened from the Thanksgiving Jamboree.
Yes.
And a lot of the games and stuff. Don't worry, we didn't get to them today. We're going to talk about them, a lot more players and teams, and a lot more tomorrow, plus those NBA at the assessment, the report card that is after the 20-game mark. Mostly all the teams have played is 19 or 20 games.
Jimmy, I found another player I like too. Yeah. Found another player. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Got another nephew.
Make sure you share the show, man. Thanks so much for all you guys for watching the Chop Shop today. Spread the word. That's very important. See you in 24 hours, guys. Chop Shop.
Jim Hicks. Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop.